Thank you for tuning into the Forefront Radio. I'm your host, Afiel Levi Israel. Now, if you're interested in helping us promote our brand, please feel free to donate to our Cash App. Our Cash App is $Afiel Levi. That's APHIELLEVI. And that'll go directly to the Forefront Radio so we can produce more incredible shows for you to listen to. Now, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download this free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Thank you.
You are now listening to The Forefront Radio, where we discuss history, the Bible, the history of the Israelites, science, and other matters. Bring it out. The history of the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans as it relates to the Bible. Who were you prior to slavery? Who were you prior to colonization? These answers and more can be seen and heard as you listen to The Forefront Radio.
Keep the faith. Reading through these scriptures, bro, I really see your fate. A dead man walking if you truly don't repent. Amen.
These brothers don't know the Bible.
To whom pertaineth to what? To whom pertaineth?
What is pertainment?
Bring it out.
Belongs to.
The adoption. And the glory.
And the glory.
And the covenants.
Look, while you waiting, they brain gone like decapitation. No knowledge, no laws, God, they forsaken. Put on slave ships, not a cruise line, Jacob. No martinis for that long trip, stop playing. They change our name with hot flames branded on our faces. Throw our kids in dirty water, alligator baiting. 100 million dead people, blood on the pavement. You say Jesus, but I'm looking at these crackers like they Satan, nigga playing. They paying for their crimes, call it statute limitations. They saying that it ain't them, that it was their fathers. Isaiah 14 say prepare them for their slaughter. This for Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin, Eric Gardner. Babylon falling, fire burning arson. Christ coming back, real black like a charcoal. Burning up these heathen for the evils that they conjured.
It's for us, our eyes have yet failed, for our vain help. And now watching, we have watched for a nation they couldn't save us. They slay us and get off free like they made us. But I switch the game up, the black Messiah can save us.
I ain't finished. Esau soon will be diminished. Mount of Zion full of saviors, call them God's children. 144, Esau about to be a victim. Keep the laws, then we get them on the day of vengeance. Can I get a witness? Can I get a witness? Esau running for their life like it's LA Fitness. Revelation 18:6, double portion with them. Try to hide the caves, but they screaming, let's get them. He that leader with the sword, gonna die by the sword. They gonna be surprised, Black Christ coming here for war. They ain't heard this before. No more nice Negroes, time for real heroes. Esau be zero, just like Nat Turner. Turn me up, we gone. Turn me up, we gone. And I'm out, Israelite.
Now he's mad about the way we're teaching the Bible.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore.
For us, our eyes have yet failed, for our vain help. And now watching, we have watched for a nation they couldn't save us. They slay us and get off free like they made us. But I switch the game up, the black Messiah can save
Never
us.
trust my enemies, I know what you did to me. Locked and loaded KJV, Revelations 1 and 3. Reading through these mysteries, our praises, now we got the keys. Unlocking hope and giving hope to those that seek the Holy Ghost. My holy folks gon' hold me down, exhorting on a daily basis. Prepare for temptation, crafty counsel just around the way. Snooze, you lose, you snooze, awaken, oh ye slugger. I see brothers killing brother, ministers, women raising monsters. That's why we crying loud on you busters. Scripting, ripping through the trenches in the seas of the ghetto. My people at a lower state, the prophets here to motivate. Isaiah 61 and 1, grinding up these broken hearts, reform them till they make it.
I am currently in the hospital room where my child is about to be born. And I just wanted to jump on and record a session of myself speaking about my child's birth being right during the Passover time. Passover is found in the book of Exodus chapter 12. You can also find it in Leviticus chapter 23 and other areas. And guess what I'm going to name my child? His name is going to be Aaron Levi Zion. Yes, Aaron Levi Zion during the time of the Passover. Isn't that amazing? Like one of the captains in my church would say, amazing. So I just wanted to do a quick podcast about that briefly and play a joint that I heard on the radio, on Patient Saints Radio. They were talking about how Malcolm X knew that we were God's chosen people. I'm going to repeat what I said. Malcolm X knew that we were the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. So I'm going to play a clip of him speaking of the Valley of Dry Bones. him speaking about us being the Israelites, him speaking about America being Babylon. I mean, a lot of biblical facts are spoken of that he mentions briefly in this like 4 to 5 minute clip. So stay tuned. This is the Forefront Radio, and with that, I say shalom.
What you're gonna realize, I'm gonna say something. A lot of times, our people don't like to connect the dots. You could say you're a Muslim all day. Don't nobody give a damn about that. You could say you are of the Kemetic community. Don't nobody give a damn about that either. You could say you are Egyptologist. Don't nobody give a daggone. You could say you're a Christian. You could say you're a Rastafari. Don't nobody care. But the second you say you're an Israelite, the true Hebrews, now all hell breaks loose. Because that's the problem. You gotta connect. What is the connection between Deshaun Jackson and Nick Cannon? What did they say that got them in hot water? It ain't that the white man was a savage. It ain't that we are the originators of all things. That's that bull crap. That's jailhouse talk. It's by them both saying we are the true Hebrews. We are the children of Israel. Now they catch hell. You better, Negroes, you better learn to connect the dots. It ain't no problem. All of the stupid things you're in, there's no problem. You can say it till you're blue in the face. But the second you talk about the Bible, and then we're the people of the book, now there's problems. Now there's problems.
Thank you for choosing the Forefront Radio. I'm your host, Safiel Levi Israel. At this time, we're going to have another great episode talking about Black history in the Bible. Black history in the Bible. For those of you that don't know, we have a podcast available on Spotify where we talk about this. It's the Forefront Radio, available also on other platforms. We're part of a 30-day challenge of content creators giving you content to listen to over the month of October. Since we're talking about the month October, we are going to dedicate this episode to the murder of Laquan McDonald. Laquan McDonald was a young black man, a young Israelite man, that was murdered by the police. The murder took place on October the 20th, 2014 in Chicago, Illinois. McDonald was a 17-year-old black male who was fatally shot and killed by a European Chicago police officer named Jason Van Dyck. So, police had initially reported that McDonald was behaving erratically while walking down the street, refusing to put down an alleged knife that he was carrying, supposedly. Preliminary internal police reports described the incident similarly, leading to the incident being judged as a, quote, justifiable shooting, and to Van Dyck not being charged at the time. So they basically falsified a report, falsified information, and afterwards, when a court ordered the police to release dash cam video of the shooting 13 months later, a full year later, on November the 24th, 2015, it showed that McDonald had been walking away from the police when he was shot 16 times. The same day, Officer Van Dyck was charged with first-degree murder and initially held without bail at the Cook County Jail, so they held him. But then afterwards mysteriously released him on bail on November the 30th, so he was only locked up for 6 days. The city finally reached a settlement with the McDonald family on October the 5th of 2018, 4 years later. Van Dyck was found guilty of second-degree murder, as well as 16 counts of aggravated battery with a firearm. So this week's episode is going to be dedicated to this young man who lost his life by a public servant that has qualified immunity up until evidence comes forth that they lied. So in our last episode, we talked about Black history in the Bible, part 1 and part 2. We showed color scriptures in the Bible verifying that the blacks of the Bible are really the Israelites of the Bible, the tribe of Judah. We showed various references to Jesus Christ's skin being so dark it looked like it was burnt in a furnace. We also showed various history in regards to King Solomon, Job, Jeremiah, the tribe of Judah, and that was in the first episode. And then in the second episode, we talked about showing proof how the ancient Egyptians and the Israelites were the same complexion, meaning black. They were brown people, they were black people. And then comparing them also to their brothers, the Hamitic brothers, the Ethiopians. We know that the Ethiopians are black, and the scripture says that can an Ethiopian change their skin? No, they cannot. In the same way, it says in the book of Amos that the children of Israel were compared to children of Ethiopians to the Most High. So now we're going to go into another part of this segment that talks about now the actual historical record, what happened during slavery, and how this proves that the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are literally in the Bible, that the Bible is your photo album, as you will. The reason why we went into the curse of the generational curse of slavery was because our ancestors had a covenant with the Creator. Our ancestors broke the covenant with the Creator because we were created to be kings and priests of the earth. That was our divine purpose. But since our ancestors neglected their purpose, we in turn went into suffering generational curses that happen to this day. An example of this is in Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 16, where it says this: "Thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the ways, and see, and ask for the old path, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein." So it goes to show you that the Creator already set forth ancient ways for us to walk, the old paths, which are the ways of the Bible. Many black folks say, "Oh, I don't want nothing to do with that Bible. That's old ways. I don't want to." We living in a new time, but this new time has not benefited us. The old ways of morality benefited us more so than the wickedness that happens today. Watch this. Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 26. "O daughter of my people, gird thee with sackcloth, and wallow thyself in ashes. Make thee mourning as for an only son, most bitter lamentation, for the spoiler shall suddenly come upon us." So Jeremiah proclaimed for us to mourn because the spoiler, the Babylonians, the Greeks, the Romans, the Edomites, America, would come against us and destroy us as a nation of people. Did that happen to us? Yes, it did. Watch this. "I have set thee for a tower and a fortress among my people, that thou mayest know and try their ways." Verse 28. "They are all grievous revolters, walking in slanders. They are brass and iron. They are all corrupters." So the scriptures are saying that our people are so rebellious that they're like brass and iron, that they will hear this information, verify it to be true, but still decide to reject it because they are corrupters. Verse 29. "The bellows are burnt, the lead is consumed of the fire, the founder melteth in vain, for the wicked are not plucked away. Reprobate silver shall men call them, because the Lord hath rejected them." So how did the Most High reject us, a nation of people? He allowed us to go into slavery. He allowed us to be forgotten as a nation of people. Now we call ourselves black. Now we call ourselves Mexican. Now we call ourselves Haitian, Puerto Rican, Jamaican, African American. All these titles that was given to us by our oppressors. We were rejected by the Most High. and not called Israel anymore, but called all these proverbs and bywords. Why? Why is it that we suffer such atrocities? In Jeremiah chapter 7, it tells us why. Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 5. For if you thoroughly amend your ways and your doings, if you thoroughly execute judgment between a man and his neighbor, if you oppress not the stranger, the fatherless, and a widow, and shed not innocent blood in this place, neither walk after other gods to your hurt. You see, we walked after the ways of the other nations. We followed the pagan customs of society, even now to this day. We follow the ways of all the other nations except our own. We don't follow the ways of this Bible. We follow Christmas, Easter, and all types of paganism. Okay? Then it says, then I will cause you to dwell in this place, in the land that I gave to your fathers forever and ever. Verse 8, behold, ye trust in lying words that cannot profit. We as a nation of people trust in liars. We trust in these politicians to help us, which is in vain. We trust in these religious hypocrites, which is in vain. We trust in scientific foolishness, which is in vain. When in reality, all these things have morally corrupted us, spiritually corrupted us, intellectually corrupted us, politically corrupted us, where we follow after things that do not profit us at all. Watch this, verse 9. Will you steal, murder, and commit adultery, and swear falsely, and burn incense to Baal, and walk after other gods whom ye know not, and come and stand before me in this house, which is called by my name, and say, we are delivered to do all these abominations? Isn't this the case? We believe in white Jesus, so we could do whatever the hell we want. We could sin and continue doing evil with no recompense. This is why we keep falling into deception after deception, because we accepted the first lie. The first lie came from the Roman Catholic system when they put us into slavery and captivity. They are the ones that taught us a different Jesus that is not sustained by Holy Writ. They are the ones that told us that Christ was a Caucasian male, when we ourselves know that the Bible talks about false Christs and false prophets, and that the true Christ of the Bible has black skin, brown skin, and woolly hair like a Negro. Watch this. 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 4. For if he that cometh preacheth another Jesus, whom ye have not preached, or if ye have received another spirit, which ye have not received, or another gospel, which ye have not accepted, ye might well bear with him. So, have we followed after another Jesus, another Christ? You better believe it. The image of Caesar Borgia, the Caucasian image that are in all of your churches, because modern Christianity gets its information directly from the Catholic Church, that image is an image of one of the Pope's son, Caesar Borgia. Okay, you can look it up. Caesar Borgia was the son of Pope Alexander VI of Rome. This was during the 1400s and the 1600s, when the black Jews were kicked out of Europe, sent into West Africa, and later on there was a papal bull where a law was passed for them to put us in slavery. Okay? So now, we are going to prove to you today that the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the lost tribes of Israel, not according to the Forefront's opinion, but biblical and historical fact. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15 through 68 explores the generational curses that would happen to the children of Israel for breaking the covenant, for breaking the commandments of the Creator. Watch this. Did you know that slave ships are written of in the Bible? Watch this. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. Actually, we'll read verse 15 first, and then we'll read verse 68. It says this, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee." Here's an example of generational curses that happen to our people. Verse 68, "And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, with ships, with ships." When we first went into Egypt, Egypt was the place of servitude. Egypt was the place of slavery. Egypt, according to Exodus 20, verse 2, is the house of bondage. What is bondage? Captivity. What is captivity? Slavery. Now watch this. "And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt," or slavery, "again with ships," with ships. "By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again," meaning we would not see our homeland again. Jerusalem is our motherland. Northeast Africa, the panhandle of Northeast Africa, not the Middle East, Northeast Africa was our motherland. And we have not seen it since we've been in slavery. As a whole, as a nation of people, we have not been back in Northeast Africa. "And there," meaning once you got off those ships, "you shall be sold, you shall be sold, you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen," which is slave men, "and bondwomen," slave women, "and no man shall buy you." What does that mean? No man is going to save you from the conditions that you're in. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 29 substantiates that. "And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth the darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee." Has America spoiled us and destroyed us? Yes. Has America and other nations like the French spoiled us and destroyed us? Yes. Has any man come and saved us? No. Has anyone given us reparations for what we suffered? No. The amount of atrocities and war crimes that have happened to the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous, we have never received just recompense for that. But guess what? There is a God. Watch this. Remember, the Bible said that we were sold to our enemies. So now we're going to look in the Bible for another Bible verse that tells us who we were sold to. Joel chapter 3, verse 6. "The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold, have ye sold, have ye sold unto the Grecians, unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border." The children of Judah are the so-called blacks. The children of Jerusalem are the remaining tribes of Israel. Benjamin, Levi, Naphtali, Issachar, Ephraim. Okay? These black, Hispanic, and Native Americans were sold to the Greeks. Who are the Greeks? The Greeks are the so-called Caucasian races. The Greco-Roman Empire. The Greco-Roman Empire is an extension that have extended all the way to Europe and to now the Americas. Specifically the United States of America, which is the seat of Roman military prominence in these last days. So, the scriptures tells us here that we went into slavery in slave ships, and it also specifies that we were sold by the Arabs and the Hamitic nations to the Greeks. Who are the Greeks? The so-called white man. This is your black history in the Bible. This is your history according to the Bible. And we have many more evidences to prove that. Even Jesus Christ himself prophesied of us going into slavery. And I'll read that briefly. In Luke chapter 21, it talks about us losing our homeland in Northeast Africa, Jerusalem, to the Greco-Romans. And not only that, their military would come against us in 70 AD, but then Christ himself said that we would be scattered into all nations and led away into captivity. So Luke chapter 21 and verse 24 says this, "And they," referring to the Hebrews, "shall fall by the edge of the sword," meaning by war, we are prisoners of war, "and shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles," the Greeks, "until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled." So those people right now that call themselves Jewish are really Greeks that have taken the mantle of being called Jewish. They wish they were a Jew, but they're not true Hebrews according to the Bible. According to a book that I have called The Chosen Caucasians by Michael Bradley, that he writes how this whole notion of Jewish people being the chosen people is a lie, because none of the things such as the yarmulkes, the long robes, and the curly locks that they wear, none of these can be found traced to the biblical lineage of the Hebrews. But we just read several texts of scripture showing and proving slave ships in the Bible, proving blacks in the Bible, proving that we are the people of the slave trade, of colonialism, of slavery, and oppression. Okay, and we have not been restituted for our oppression, when in fact the United States of America decides to give billions upon billions of dollars each year to the Israelis, the people of Polish, Danish, Swedish, and other European, Germanic, Greco-Roman, Edomite lineage. Okay, so we are the ones that have been the ones oppressed. We are the ones that were put into slavery, forced to work in all nations. During our oppression, we were forced to work in all nations. And not only that, when we worked, we did not get paid any wages. Watch this. Jeremiah chapter 22 and verse 13. "Woe unto him that buildeth his house by unrighteousness, and his chambers by wrong, that uses his neighbor's service without wages, and giveth him not for his work." So now the question remains, were we forced to labor without wages? Or were we forced to build houses and farms and plantations without wages? You better believe it. What are we reading? The Bible. What are we proving? Black history in the Bible. We'll get more specific if that doesn't relate to you. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 30. "Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof." So what is that telling us? We're going to have women that are our wives, and another race of men is going to take our wives and ravish them. This happened during slavery. You can watch the movie 12 Years a Slave, Amistad, Roots, and other references for that matter. Did we not, as a nation of people, on the plantations of Haiti, on the plantations of Jamaica, on the plantations of Virginia, on the plantations of North Carolina, on the plantations of Florida, did we not set up and build plantations and vineyards all across the land of the Americas and not gather the fruit thereof? The grapes, the sugar cane, the rice, the cotton, the coffee, the sugar, all these industries that are billion-dollar industries now to this day, we have not received just recompense for that. Think about it for a second. America knows if they give us reparations, they would owe us trillions upon trillions of dollars, as well as their children working for us for at least 1,000 years, at least a minimum, okay? Because they have been a thorn on our side since the time of the Greeks. And even before that, during the time of the Babylonians, when the Babylonians went into Jerusalem, the Edomites, the so-called Caucasian race, when our buildings and our temples were being burnt to the ground, they were cheering the Babylonian Ethiopians on. They were helping them to destroy our temples and our places of worship and our own universities. They burnt our books. And then when they weren't able to burn our books, they in turn took our documents and imprinted themselves in our books. They laid open the book of our laws and put the likeness of their images therein, which is called iconoclasm, which is why you think that Jesus is white, which is why you think that God is white, which is why you think the angels are white. Everything in the Bible is white. But when you actually read the Bible, like Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5, it says, I am black but comely, which is where we get the phrase, I am black but beautiful. All praises to the Most High. So these signs, these generational curses are not meant to destroy us. These are meant to wake us up to black history in the Bible. So now that we know this information, what should we do? Now that we know this information, what can we do to fix it for our people? Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 12. And now, Israel, what does the Lord thy God require of thee? We have to ask ourselves, what does the Creator want of us now? Now that we know this information, now that we know that our photo album, our precious records, is the same book that they tried to burn, the same book that we were forbidden to read and write from. The same very book that they tried to use to enslave us was actually the book of our redemption, of our salvation, of our purity. What does God require of us? But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, to keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes which I command thee this day for thy good. For thy good. So what should we do as a nation of people? We should return back to the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. Understand what I'm saying. I'm not preaching religion to you. I'm telling you to return back to your culture, return back to your history, return back to your native tongue of who you are. Your people are the people of the book. Your native language is Hebrew. Your cultural habits are the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. When Moses came on Mount Sinai, he did not give us modern-day religion. He did not give us Judaism. He did not give us Islam. He did not give us Christianity. He did not give us witchcraft and voodoo. He did not give us Hinduism. He did not give us Buddhism. Now, I'm not speaking against these world traditions. Although they're drenched in paganism, I'm not going to speak against them. I'm going to tell you that that's not your culture. Your culture is the Bible, the laws pertaining to you as a nation of people. That's what God wanted us to keep from the origin, from the beginning, the book of the law. That is what I'm telling you. If you love the Most High, if you love Christ, if you love your neighbor as yourself, you're going to do what this Bible says, meaning what? Because I love God now, I'm not going to steal another man's wife. That's thou shalt not commit adultery. Because I love God and I love my brothers, I'm not going to rob and steal from them. I'm going to get a job or be an entrepreneur and work and take care of my own. Because I love the Most High, I'm not going to covet what doesn't belong to me. I'm going to be satisfied until the Most High brings me to a higher position. Same for you. What does God require of us as a nation of people? Fight and resist against the powers that be. Fight and resist against the mental manipulation and oppression that we have suffered from for centuries. Fight against the oppression. Fight against the spiritual domination that have been placed upon you, and embrace now the truth. Because remember what Jesus Christ himself said, the Black Messiah. You will know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Thank you for listening to the Forefront Radio. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on iHeartRadio. You can find us also on Stitcher, on Good Posts, I think it's called, and other platforms. On Instagram, it is the Forefront Express. On Facebook, it is the Forefront Media. And we appreciate all listeners listening to our 30 days of content creators of color, providing you with this information. So thank you for joining us today.
Just been thinking about everything, you know what I'm talking about? I've been thinking about everything, and I was hoping you was thinking the same thing. Even with the slow creep, trying to get you with the wickedness last week. Now they coming 10 deep. Stronger and more wicked than the demons from last week. Either stand tall or suffer defeat. Stay destroyed because you so asleep. Better listen to this warning. No time out to escape, true story. No need to worry, he comes in a hurry. Don't you stumble and don't fall. Faith without works, you lose your power. Study the Bible, stand tall. No need to worry, he comes in a hurry. Don't you stumble and don't fall. Faith without works, you lose your power. Study the Bible, stand tall. I've been thinking about everything, and I was hoping you was thinking the same thing. Heavy songs, rhythm zones that can't be touched. Dangerous, spiritual from the touch. Your time is up, cause you're really doing too much. Idolizing God that can't be touched. Scriptures read, daily bread. Wisdom and knowledge bring sorrows to my head. We waste time shooting bullets at our own kind. Love is blind, for some it's really hard to find. I've been thinking about everything, and I was hoping you was thinking the same thing.
We out here to warn you, right? We are the prophets of God. Any of y'all know anything about the Bible? What was the prophets sent out? What was Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Isaiah? What were they sent to do? To warn the people, right? Guess what?
Prophets came back and we coming around here, bringing out the truth, you can see it real clear. Don't say a word when we come around here. East corner, west corner, south corner, move. Prophets came back and we coming around here, bringing out the truth, you can see it real clear. Don't say a word when we come around here. East corner, west corner, south
Prophets cry aloud, spare not around here. False darkness tore down, they can't live around here. Keep thy foot, be quiet when you come around here. Voice like a trumpet, teacher strong and austere. Raising up a nation, it get real around here. Lately I've been thinking to myself like, damn. My people rebellious, we gotta tell them. Law keepers keep keeping, the Lord won't fail you. Understanding without readers, we got teachers, they can teach you. We got Jesus, they got seizure. Misconception got them evil, that's why we're sent to the people. Raising up a dead state, repent from this dead weight. Standing strong, won't break.
Prophets came back and we coming around here, bringing out the truth, you can see it real clear. Don't say a word when we come around here. East corner, west corner, south corner, move. Prophets came back and we come around here, bringing out the truth, you can see it real clear. Don't say a word when we come around here. East corner, west corner, south corner, move. My people shall live in a peaceable habitation, safe dwellings, resting in quiet places. Woe to this war, the wicked abominations, men in dresses and skirts, putting shame on my nation. Woe to these niggas, Sodom and Gomorrah, Sodom and Gomorrah. Treacherous lies, the playing is over, the playing is over. Christ coming back and he looking for soldiers, he looking for soldiers. Playing with sin like you play with a cobra, you playing with cobras. Wanting the truth, now the waiting is over, the waiting is over. Christ coming back, he bringing the truth and we taking over, we taking over. Say you love God, but his words you despise. You live in all them lies, the truth cut to your heart. Prophets came back and we coming around here, bringing out the truth, you can see it real clear. Don't say a word when we come around here. East corner, west corner, south corner, move. Prophets came back and we come around here, bringing out the truth, you can see it real clear. Don't say a word when we come around here. East corner, west corner, south corner, move.
Yeah, we been stressed out. No more daddies around, mama's left out. Got the college funds and the checks out. We been shaking together, we been pressed down, so stressed out. Yeah, we so stressed out. He got daddy around, he been left out. And he's on the drugs, he's so stressed out. Tryna find a way out, but he's stressed out, so stressed out. She got 2 kids and her daddy gone. He on child support, he can never do right. He feel left out. Grab that coke, grab that weed when he's. So he bails out. There's no home for Tyrone in the jailhouse. He just cleaves to the streets when he relapse. And she own up marijuana when she need that. So stressed out, got no daddies around, mama's left out. Got the college funds and the checks out. We been shaking together, we been pressed down.
Rent's due, baby in his shoes, nowhere to go. What you gonna do? Stressed out, wearing me out. Gray clouds, can't crack a smile. Easy now, take it easy now. But instead she pops pills, that's the easy route. You still gon' have problems when you calm down. And so much disbelief when your spirit is low. I'm losing control, nobody's around to grab a hold. Stressed out, tearing me down, can't Baby needs me now. Baby needs me now.
Stressed out, stressed out.
Thank you for listening to the Forefront Radio. We now have a Cash App. The link is in the description of the page here on Anchor.fm, also on Spotify. We appreciate you listening in. We do have a few features that we are including now. We are selling a few products such as watches, perfumes, colognes, and other products will be available for our Israelite community as well as the general community of the population. We have a Facebook page. Just type in the Forefront Media and you'll be able to get updates of various shows that we drop when they do drop. Please do share this show if you like the show, and we do hope that you do love this show. And tune in for more episodes once we have them available. Thank you for listening to The Forefront. I'm your host, Afiel Levi Israel.